What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Main Deck Monday, and we are finally looking over the Garchomp deck. Now, there's so many different ways to play Garchomp, but I think this is the best form of Garchomp. I've seen Garchomp Garbodor, I've seen Garchomp Lucario, I've seen Garchomp without Octillery, but I think this is the best list that you can make with Garchomp. I have seen a lot of success with this deck, and the games we played today are some really good games. I've been trying my hardest to record good games because I know people have requested that. I've added a new light so you can see my face better. I've tried my best to improve the channel, and hopefully you enjoy it. And let me know down below if you have any suggestions. I'll take them all into consideration because that's what I'm trying to do to make the channel, I guess, the video experience best for y'all. So, because y'all are the one viewing it. But today we're playing the Garchomp Octillery deck, and let's go over the deck. Now, your main attacker is going to be Garchomp, has 130 HP, and has the attack Turbo Assault. It does 6 damage, and you attach an energy card from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. And this is any energy, not just a fighting. It can be strong and fighting, and that's where Garchomp shines, because you can attach strong energy from your discard pile to your bench Pokemon, which is amazing. And then it has a second attack, Bite Off. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon EX, this attack does 80 more damage. So if you do this twice, 160. Combine this with a strong energy, you're doing 180 damage. And combine this with a muscle band, you're doing 200 damage, which can knock out an Evital which has resistance to your Garchomp, which is amazing. And this is why I love the deck. Not only do you have energy acceleration in the form of Turbo Assault, but you can take out huge EX Pokemon with Bite Off, and it's amazing. Now, don't get me wrong, Gible is an amazing attacker as well. Some people have overlooked Gible. It has the attack Never Enough. You discard a card from your hand. If you do, you draw 2 cards. And this might help you set up for sure. You know, you played Never Enough, you draw 2 cards, and you're like, oh, hey, those are the 2 cards I need. That's amazing. Now, we only played 2 Guy Bites because you played 3 Rare Candy. So the whole point is you want to early game Rare Candy Garchomp, and then later game you want to manually evolve into your Garchomps, which is pretty cool. You play 2 Goodbye, it has Sand Tomb 20. The defending Pokemon can't retreat during your opponent's next turn. Now, this could actually be a good attack as well, because this means your opponent is forced to use Switch, AZ, Escape Rope, because if you Lysander Sand Tomb, they're stuck in the active spot, and they're like, oh no, I can't retreat now, and the next turn you can evolve into Garchomp and take a knockout. Like, you can Lysander with Shaman, and make it where they have to Sky Return, but then you can knock out somebody else, or maybe like bring up a Hoopa and Sand Tomb for 20, and the next turn knock out a Garchomp. It's a very cool card for sure. The whole Garchomp line is very attackable. Everything has like great attacks. We play 2 Hawlucha. It has its ability Shining Spirit. Damage from this Pokemon's attacks isn't affected by weakness or resistance. Now, this is huge when you're playing against Shaman EX. Hawlucha does Flying Press 60, but it only attacks EX Pokemon. That's a very key thing to note. But if your Flying Press does 60, Strong Energy 80, Muscle Band 100, and then a Fighting Stadium 120, which can knock out Shamans. Now, if you didn't have the Shining Spirit, it would actually do 100 because Shaman is resistance to fighting, and that's why Hawlucha is such a great attacker. And also, it helps out against Evital. You can start doing damage on them turn 1, and then later on clean them up with Garchomp. And Hawlucha is just a great attacker turn 1. Usually what you want to do turn 1 is attack with Hawlucha, Flying Press and EX, and the next turn it gets knocked out. But then you can use Garchomp and then use its attack, Turbo Assault, to get energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. You play a 2-2 Octillery line, no Shaman in here. Shaman could be a good card, but we're forcing our opponent to take 6 prize cards, knocking out 6 Garchomps or Hawluchas. Octillery has Abyssal Hand, drawing 5 cards in your hand. Now, the reason why we're playing this is because you play Karina. And when you use Karina, you're playing your supporter card for your turn. Now, when this happens, you can then use Abyssal Hand to draw up to 5 cards in your hand. And when you have 2 of them, you can use this twice, and you can see how quickly things add up. You can use Abyssal Hand, play some cards down, use Abyssal Hand, play some cards down, and then you're good to go. So that's all the Pokemon in the deck. You play 2 Love Ball, you search your deck for Pokemon with 90 HP or less, reveal it, and put it into your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. So you can get out Octillery, Remoraid, Gabite, and Gible. 1 Professor Letter to search for 2 Fighting Energies. And this is great turn 1, because you would have Karina for a Fighting Pokemon and Letter, and then you can Letter for 2 Fighting Energies to help you attack the following turn. 3 Rare Candy, so that way you're skipping a stage into Garchomp. And this is perfect, because you can Karina, grabbing a Rare Candy and a Garchomp for turn 2, and then you're gonna go, or when you Gible first turn, you pass or you attack, whatever you want to do. You did Karina for a Rare Candy Garchomp, and that's that's why the deck's such a good deck. Super Rod, Shuffle 3 combination, a Pokemon and basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. I might actually switch this for Sacred Ash, because most of the time you are Turbo Assault and get back your energies, but you might need that fighting energy back into your deck later on if a Garchomp gets knocked out and you can't Turbo Assault anymore. So Super Rod and Sacred Ash is definitely something to think about. 3 Trainer Smell, look at the top 4 cards of your deck and grab a Trainer cards. And since you only play 3, you need to be really conservative with these Trainer Smell. And that's always, if you're in a matchup and you're like, oh, I'm going to Trainer Smell, but you already good to go, you don't need anything, then you really don't need to play a Trainer Smell. I've seen a lot of people do this. They'll play Trainer Smell when there's nothing to dig for, or they'll play Sycamore when there's nothing to dig for. Unless you're trying to set up for something the following turn, I would hold on to Trainer Smell as long as possible unless you need that one certain card for that turn. That's when you want to play it. For Ultra Ball, get your Pokemon out, obviously. For VS Secret to reuse supporter cards, and this is where things get interesting. You play 3 Karina, 3 Sycamore, 2 Birch, and 2 Lysander. Now that's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 supporter cards, which is kind of low. Usually you play 4 Sycamore, 3 Birch, maybe an Ace Trainer and other stuff. But you need Karina, so you search deck for fighting and an item card. And I've talked about this multiple times throughout the video to grab a Goodbye Rare Candy, Goodbye Professor Letter, Goodbye Focus Ash. There's a lot of different combinations you could do with Karina. 2 Lysander. Now you could play 1, but we're playing 2 because we're trying to take knockouts on EX Pokemon with the Bite Off attack. So you need multiple Lysanders, and plus you're using a lot of VS Seekers for Karinas. So you can play 2 Birch. You could cut 1 Birch into a Karina if you want to, but right now we're playing 2. Shuffle your hand into deck, flip a coin if heads, draw 7, if tails, draw 4. 3 Sycamore, discard your hand, draw 7 new cards, and that's all the supporter cards in our deck. You could maybe play an Ace Trainer, Hex Maniac, Giovanni Scheme. Those could work, but I'm trying to keep stuff really consistent in the deck. You could cut the 2 Birch and play a Giovanni Scheme and a Judge, maybe, if you want to, just so you do 2 more damage for a Bite Off to help you hit for certain numbers, if need be. But it's definitely interesting, but I do like Birch. If you're new to my channel, I love Birch. It's an amazing card. 3 Fighting Stadiums to do 20 more damage to the active EX Pokemon, which is very nice. It helps you hit crucial numbers, especially with Bite Off. You can do 80, 80, and then with the regular Fighting Stadium, you can do a knockout without needing strong energies or muscle band. 1 Flowstone to give your Octillery for your treat. Usually, you want to hold on to the Flowstone as long as possible until they license up Octillery. They don't want Flowstone to treat it. Now, for the most time, when they bring up Octillery, they're going to take a knockout, but sometimes they will license up your Octillery to try to stall out to make you deck out, but you do have the Flowstone in your deck to make that possible. 2 Focus Sash, and this says if your Pokemon's at full HP, it was going to be knocked out. Instead, its HP becomes 10, and you discard this card. Now, this Focus Sash is great. I mean, it's good against, Night March decks, it's good against Vespiquen decks, it's good against Evital decks that load up huge attackers, Darkrai, anything that's going to one-shot Garchomp, they now have to 2-shot it, or play a Megaphone or Zerosic to get it off. 2 Muscle Band, so you do 20 more damage to the active Pokemon, makes Flying Press take a knock on Shaymins, makes the Bite Off tag take knockouts as well. You could easily switch this around, play 4 Focus Sash, 4 Muscle Band, 3-1, 1-3. It's up to you to find your preference. You're playing 4 Strong and 4 Fighting Energy. I think 8 is fine. You have Turbo Soul to accelerate energies, and all you have is fighting Pokemon that you're attacking with, so you need Fighting Energy or 4 Strong and 4 Fighting. Now, if you don't know, Strong does 20 more damage to the active Pokemon. Now, in this video, like I said before, we have some really good matches, and I'll keep them a secret. We'll find out what they are. Make sure you watch them all. You can see how strong of a deck Garchomp is. His worst matchup is probably Trevenant, but Trevenant hasn't, there was a state championship last weekend, and Trevenant didn't perform that successful because Evital was everywhere, and Trevenant's weak to dark, which makes it bad. That makes Garchomp good, because now Garchomp can beat those Evital decks and everything else, and then that makes Trevenant comes back. That's the weird thing about Pokemon. It's like a circle of life that keeps on going. But hopefully you enjoyed this introduction. Hopefully you enjoyed the new lighting. I try my best to record my best games. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and let's see the deck in action.
Alright, so we're playing against Barn DST, playing a dark water colors. I don't know why I'm wearing headphones. I just realized I had headphones on, but I'm not listening to music. But he supposedly has the advantage, and let's see what happens. He's probably playing some kind of Evital, Seismitoad, Shaman deck, but it doesn't look like he's playing Gallade. But onto our opponent's turn, Let's see, what do they have? Okay, so we get a Gibble, we got a Remoraid. Yeah, Remoraid. Love a Ball, okay. So put out Remoraid. We just need to draw into a Karina, and we'll be A-okay. So there's an Evital. So yeah, Evital EX now. This might be kind of a hard matchup if he loads a lot of energy on the Evital. There's a Tierno, gonna draw 3 cards. But luckily, we could 2-shot this Evital while it 2-shots us as well. I will knock out this Gibble probably turn 2, for most likely. There's an Evital, Zora. Now, Zorak is weak to fighting, so that's easy for us. And there's an Ultra Ball. Alright, so we're gonna Love Ball. And let's see what's in the deck. We probably grab another Gibble for sure. We could grab a Hawlucha, Focus Sash it, and make it where next turn we actually can do a lot of damage to that Evital. Okay, just looking through my deck to see what's all in there. Yeah, I'm gonna grab. Yeah, let's just grab a Gibble. We'll put down the Gibble. We will Ultra Ball, discard a Fighting, and a Garchomp. And with this, I'm going to grab a Hawlucha. Now, what's going to happen next turn? Oh, we could grab an Octillery for the following turn. Yeah, let's go to grab Octillery so that we're guaranteed our stuff next turn. We probably should have held on to the Ultra Ball. I was contemplating getting another Hawlucha, so that way we did knock out the Gibble. We could Super Rod, shuffle back in 3 Pokemon, but if we don't top deck a Sporter, we are going to be in trouble. So there's a Zorak coming down, which has the stand-in effect, going to stand in, switch from the bench to the active. There we see a VS Seeker, grabbing a Tierno. Now he needs an energy to actually attack us this turn, but he just needs a Dark and or DC, and he'll be okay. Let's see, does he get that? There's a Floatstone going down to the Zorak to give it free retreat, so that way he can stand in, and then he has free retreat with the Floatstone, so that's always a great combination with Zorak. And let's see, what does our opponent have? There's a DC going down to the active, and we'll probably see a White Cyclone doing 20, 40, 60, 80. Alright, but if we get a Garchomp out next turn, we can do a lot of damage to this Evital EX while it can't knock us out. There's an Ultra Ball discarding a Sycamore and a Dark Energy. Maybe getting out an Evital EX. That way he can Y Cyclone, move the DC from the active to the bench Evital EX. And that way he has 2 Evital EXs ready to go. But there's a Seismitoad. Alright, he's probably still going to go for this Y Cyclone play. He's going to move the DC to the Seismitoad. And that way next turn he can start Quaky Punch. Now Quaky Punch is not good for us because we have a lot of item cards in our deck. There's a Shadow Circle coming down, making sure his Pokemon do not have weakness if they have a Dark Energy attached. There's 80 damage. It actually looks like he went for an Eva Ball, not for a White Cyclone, so I'm actually okay with this. We're going to send a Gibble, and hopefully we can top deck. There is a Rare Candy, so we'll Super Rod. And with the Super Rod, we'll shuffle 3 in. We'll put down the Octillery, and we will Abyssal Hand, drawing 3 cards. And hopefully we get something good off these 3. Don't let me down, Octillery. Give us something good. Alright, Trainer's Mail. Oh, no, that's not good. So we'll grab. Man, that's not good at all. We didn't draw to Karinas. We could use Never Enough to draw 2 cards. We're probably going to get an Ultra Ball. And with the Ultra Ball, we'll discard a VS Seeker and a Fighting Energy. And with this, we'll grab another Gibble. Yep, so grab another Gibble. Put that card down. Oh no, if we Never Enough, we have to discard a Rare Candy. Oh, that's not good. So yeah, we have to go for it though. We'll Never Enough, discard the Rare Candy, draw 2 cards. And let's see, what do we get? There's a VS Seeker and a Fighting Energy, but still no real supporter card. Kinda nervous. My opponent will go down to 4 prize cards. Before we take a prize card, there's a DC on Toad. VS Seeker, grab this Sycamore most likely. Go ahead and discard his hand, draw 7 new cards. Alright, there's another Evital. Sycamore, going to discard the Evital, draw 7 new cards. And if he Quake Punches here, my opponent, I mean, he can either go for a knockout with Evital or Quake Punch to lock us out of item cards. I'm not sure which one he'll decide to do. There's a Compressor, going to discard 3 cards out of their deck. And let's see what those 3 cards are. Maybe some Teki supporter cards. I doubt any Dark Energies, unless he wants to use Oblivion Wing later on. But right now he's fine just attacking with the Evital EX because it's just, constantly just hitting us over and over again. So let's see what this Battle Compressor does. There's a Lysander, Xerosic, and a Battle Compressor. Yeah, okay, so he's going to discard these Teki supporter cards so that way he can VS Seeker for them. But he's already played 2 VS Seekers as well, so that's good. And let's see, does he go for a Quake Punch? And it looks like he is going to go for a Quake Punch. He's going to switch into the Dark. He's going to retreat to the Toad, and he's going to punch for 30. Now, we're weak to Grass, so this is not going to knock us out. And I'm actually okay with this play. And on to our turn, let's see what happens. We get a Muscle Band. So we'll put a Fighting Energy on this guy. We will Bissell Hand, draw in 3 cards. Yeah, 3. That's not good. Now, next turn, he can Bissell, Quake Punch to knock us out. So I'm going to Never Enough. And I'm actually going to discard a Level Ball. We draw 2 cards. And let's see, what do we get? Alright, there's a Hawlucha. There's, okay. Maybe the Hawlucha can help us out some. We can start using Flying Press, doing 80 damage to the Toad. Alright, we still have yet to see a supporter card, and my opponent will take a knockout this turn. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and there'll be 4 more energies left, but once we get that Garchomp out, we can start using it to get our energies back. Just how long will it take before we get the energy, or to get the Garchomp out? And he's going to Quake Punch us, most likely for sure. But next turn, I'm going to probably retreat to the Hawlucha, put a strong energy, and smack the Toad for 80. Now, this might make my opponent send up the Evital to knock us out, but when he does that, maybe we'll have cards to play supporter cards. And there's a Shaman. Now, the good thing about Shaman is we can easily knock this out with a Garchomp. So that's good. We are going to be down 2 Gibbles, so we have to draw into... We have 2 more Gibbles left in the deck. Sorry, hit the computer screen. There's a Dark Energy going to Evital EX. And let's see what else does my opponent want to do this turn. Now, regardless, no matter what I'm going to top deck, I'm going to send in this Hawlucha and smack him for 80. But hopefully, we can finally draw a supporter card. Go, Gibble. Let's see what happens. On to our turn. Okay, so there's a start. So we'll get a Karina. And with the Karina, we will grab a Gabite. Alright. Alright, so we'll grab the Gabite. And then we'll also grab a VS Seeker. And that way, next turn, we can use the Karina. Ooh, we have... Okay, alright. Yeah, we'll grab the VS Seeker. We will retreat into this guy. Send the Gabite. Oh, put the Gabite down. Put the Strong Energy down. And we will Flying Press for 80. Now, this won't knock it out, but this makes next turn my opponent decides to attack with this Toad. If we get like a Fighting Stadium or another Strong Energy, we could knock out this Toad. The question is, will he send up the Evital and start attacking us? Now, if he sends up the Evital and starts attacking us, we can VS Seeker for a Focus Sash. But he does play Xerosic, but he's already discarded 2 VS Seekers. That's another thing. That's another key thing to look out for. There's a Dark Energy on that Evital EX. Okay, there's a stand-in, and he's going to retreat to probably the Evital EX and knock us out. But we can finally get a Garchomp out into play. There's a VS Seeker. Now, this will grab a most likely a Lysander. Yep, there's a Lysander coming out to play. Alright, so he's going to Lysander, bring up that Gabite, but I'm fine with this. We can play a bunch of supporter cards next turn, or a bunch of item cards next turn, and we should be okay. We can finally start setting up. Now, we are going to be down a lot of cards, or a lot of prize cards, but I believe in us. My opponent will go down to 3 prize cards. Go Hawlucha, and let's see what happens. On to our turn. We get a rare candy. We're going to Floatstone this guy. We are going to VS Seeker, grabbing a Karina, and with the Karina, if we have a Level Ball in the deck, I'm going to grab a Gibble, and then a Level Ball. So there's a Gibble. Alright, there's another Gibble left in deck, so let's go Gibble. And let's see if there's another Level Ball in the deck. Alright, there's an Ultra Ball. Alright, so we might have to grab the Ultra Ball. Oh no, let's grab Focus Sash, and I'll show you why. Alright, so we'll grab the Focus Sash. Put down the Gibble. Put down the Focus Sash to the active. That way he can't knock us out this turn. We'll Professor Letter. Grabbing a single Fighting Energy. Oh, there's only one left in the deck regardless. Put that down. We will Bissell Hand. And the reason why I'm not attaching the Muscle Band, if he smacks us next turn, we can Flying Press to knock out this Evital for 100 damage. We're going to Bissell Hand, draw in 2 cards. 1, 2. Alright, and we will Flying Press for 80. And then next turn, what we could do is, if he hits us, we can Muscle Band, Lysander this guy up, and take a knockout going down to 4, put the Gabite down, and then we might slowly start setting up. It's still going to be a long battle, but maybe we can do it. I'm going to believe. There's a Muscle Band going on to the Garchomp, the Evital EX. It's not a Garchomp. There's a stand-in. He's going to send this Evital and smack us this turn. Oh, no, a Toad. Okay, I'm actually... Oh, no. Now, the bad thing about this is we don't take a... we actually can't take a knockout this turn because, you know, he didn't pop the Focus Sash. So there's a Flowstone, Sycamore, going to discard that hand, draw 7 new cards. Now, if we draw into a Strong Energy, we could Lysander up this guy. Or maybe knock out. I think Lysander Disguise is definitely the option. We want to knock out those Evital's. Those are the real threats. There's a Dark Energy going to Evital. And we're going to see a Quaking Punch doing 30 damage. And on our turn, let's see what happens. We get a Strong Energy. Yes, that's good. Alright, so put down a Gabite. We'll Lysander, bringing up this guy. Put down a Strong Energy. We will Abyssal Hand, draw in 2. 1, 2. Alright, so there's a VS Seeker, and we will Flying Press for the knockout. Going down to 4 prize cards, and the next turn we can finally start attacking with Garchomp. We'll go down to 4 prize cards, and let's see, can we make the mighty comeback? There's an Ultra Ball and a Karina. Alright, and next turn we can Karina getting a Garchomp, and we get Ultra Ball getting another Gabites. So we'll probably see a Evital EX come up, and we need to get another Focus Sash as well. Yeah, I think getting the Focus Sash on the Garchomp so that way he has a 2-shot it is probably the better play. Now, who's he going to send up is the question. He can send up Toad, punches for 30, but that's not a knockout. Does he send up the Evital? I most likely will send up the Evital to start attacking us. So yeah, here comes an Evital EX. And on our opponent's turn. Now, he still has to take 2 more prize cards after this. And he has 1 VS Seeker left. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he has 1 VS Seeker left, so at any moment, he could Zerosic away the Focus Sash we're going to put onto our Garchomp. There's a Lysander. Going to bring up the Gabites. Oh, man. Our opponent's not playing nice right now. But, okay. There's an Evital. And I actually might have an idea that might work. Maybe 6, 8, 10. It's going to depend if we have another Strong Energy left in the deck. Because what we could do is we could VS Seeker, bring up the Toad, and the next turn knock out the Shaman to win the game. Alright, so let's go Hawlucha. My opponent's going to have 2 prize cards left. And let's see what happens onto our turn. We get a Focus Sash. Okay. So we're going to Ultra Ball. Discard Ultra Ball and Rare Candy. We're going to forget the whole Garchomp line. We're going to go for a Hawlucha if it's in the deck. Oh, Hawlucha's not in the deck. Oh, no, that's not good. Alright, that's not good. So grab a Gibble. We'll put down the Gibble. Focus Sash it. VS Seeker. Or a Lysander. We're going to bring up that Toad. Alright. And then we're going to Abyssal Hand, draw in 2. There's 1, there's 2. We will Trainer's Mail, look at the top 4 cards of our deck. We'll grab a Fighting Stadium. Okay. Put down the Fighting Stadium. And we will Flying Press for the knockout. Now, my opponent does have more VS Seekers, so he's done with VS Seekers. Picking a knockout. He could send up this Evital. He's going to knock us out with that. There's a Strong Energy and a Hawlucha. Okay. So let's see, what does my opponent decide to do? Do we have an... Oh, man, I wish we didn't discard that Rare Candy. 1, 2. We might still have 1 left in the deck. And if that happens, we could attack with Garchomp twice and maybe bring up the Shaman to win the game. There's a Tierno, drawing 3 cards. The question is, how many Lysanders does he play? There's 1. Oh, he still has 1 VS Seeker left. Oh, man. Yeah, he hasn't played... Okay, he still has a VS Seeker left. Fighting Stadium get bumped. Trainer's Milk, look at the top 4 cards of his deck. Grabbing a Muscle Band, and if he has a Lysander, we're going to be in trouble because he can knock out this Octillery the following turn. Alright. There's an Evil Ball going to knock us out, doing 140 damage. And let's see what happens. 6, 8, 10. Oh, man. Okay. So I'm going to send up the Octillery. I have an idea. Onto our turn. We get a Trainer's Mail, so put down the Hawlucha. 6, 8, 10, yeah. Well, let's hold. Yeah, let's put down the Muscle Band. Let's Trainer's Mail. We're looking for a Fighting Stadium, and we got it. Yes. So what we could do is Fighting Stadium. Put down the Fighting Stadium. Put a Strong Energy. We can VS Seeker or a Lysander. And we can bring up that Shaman EX. Come here, Shaman. So 6, 8, 10, 12. And since it doesn't, we don't worry about resistance, we'll retreat into the Hawlucha. And we will Flying Press, knocking out that Shaman EX and taking the game against the Evital deck. And there we go. But we'll see one more game with the deck in a second. That was a really, really good game. We beat the Evital deck, which seems pretty hard. We just saw him really focus the Garchomps over and over again, but since we have Hawluchas, you can see how strong they are against EX decks. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Oh, we're not saying our goodbyes. We're going to see one more game with the deck here in a second, since that one's only 14 minutes, and hopefully in the next game we can get out Garchomps.
Alright, we're putting against Mayo Morris playing a Colors, Lightning, Psychic, Water deck. Now, this can either be Mega Manectric combination with Hoopa and maybe Regice Articuno and or Night March with Joltik. Joltik, well, I don't know what the water could be is my thing. It could be Octillery, but not our turn. Now, if it is Mega Manectric, we hit for weakness. That's pretty much a good matchup for us all around. We get a Hawlucha. Wow, we have a really, really, really good turn one. Put down Remoraid. And let's see, what are we playing against? Like I said, I think it's going to be a Mega Manectric deck. Unless he plays Milotic. Okay, yep. So there's a Manectric and a Smeargle. We're going to Karina. And with the Karina, we're going to grab a Gibble. And then we're going to grab a Love Ball. There's a Love Ball. So we'll grab those two. And with this, we can Love Ball get 2 Gibbles down. So Gibble, Love Ball for another Gibble. Come on down, buddy. And then next turn, we can grab an Ultra Ball and a Garchomp. And we have a turn 2 Garchomp ready to go. All we need is an energy as well as getting the Octillery out. Now, we can knock out this Manectric EX next turn. The base attack is 60 times 2 is 120. So if we get a strong energy, that's 6-8. That's 160. But with the Fighting Stadium, that is a knockout. Muscle Band energy does the same thing. We see a Spearling going to the active. We see a Water energy as well being attached. There's an Ultra Ball going to discard a Water and an AZ. Alrighty, and let's see what they decide to get down. Maybe a Shaman, most likely to draw his cards. Oh, Hoopa! He's going to use Scoundrelling. Scoundrelling is going to let him search for 3 EX Pokemon, and let's see what those 3 are. Scoundrelling coming out to play, and let's see what are going to be those 3 cards. Could be anything. Maybe some more Manectrics. Maybe a Ho-Oh. It's going to be a Mega Manectric Ho-Oh deck. Now, Ho-Oh is resistance to fighting, which makes things kind of interesting for sure. He's going to fight for you about the Ho-Oh. Got a Shaman, going to draw 5 cards, and he has a Mega Manectric for the next turn. The question is, can we knock out this Manectric EX before it evolves into a Mega Manectric? Probably. Our hand, like I said, is really good for the next turn. We'll see what our opponent has. Like I said, we're going to VS Seeker for Karina. There's an Overrun. Going to put 20 and 20 onto one of the Gibbles. Yep. Alright, so 40 and 20. So on our turn, let's see what happens. We get a... Oh, great. So we got a Gabite. We can VS Seeker for a Karina. Now, I think we might have to discard the Super Rod. That seems really bad, but we have to. So Garchomp, and we'll Ultra Ball. We could... Oh, we can Love Ball if there's one in the deck. Grab the Octillery, because Octillery does have 90 HP. Let's make sure. Let's double check. I'm like 99% sure. Yeah, it has 90 HP, so that's good. So grab a Love Ball. We will Rare Candy into Garchomp. Come on down, buddy. We will Love Ball. Getting out a Octillery. Okay. Putting the Octillery down. Putting down the Fighting Stadium. And we will Abyssal Hand. Drawing 4 cards. Can we get a strong energy or not? Is the question. Okay, cool. So 6, 8, 10 times 2, 100 damage to knock it out. So put a strong energy. We retreat into the Garchomp. And we will Turbo Soul. Knock it out. And we see my opponent can see the game automatically, realizing there's nothing they could do. Now, my opponent could probably still have a chance if they wanted to attack. They could maybe attack, like set up a Hoopa and kind of tank for a second while powering up that Ho-Oh on the bench. Because you could Max Elixir twice, attach, and then attach and start attacking with Ho-Oh. But he decided to scoop the game. But we'll see one more game with the deck here in a second. We defeated Evital deck. Manectric is pretty much an auto win. So we'll see what happens in the next game. Alright, we're playing against world-renowned heretic Steve Guthrie himself. Looks like he's playing a Best Queen Night March deck. He says, LOL, this is randomized. We won the coin flip. This is pretty funny. It looks like he's playing a Night March Best Queen deck. But we'll see what he's playing. This is pretty funny that we got paired against each other. Alright. What are the odds? I have no idea. Probably pretty high. But we'll start Gible. And we'll see what happens. Now, Night March is definitely an interesting matchup because we have Focus Sash, which might help us out some. But the Night March players do play Xerosic, so that might give us a little bit of trouble. And there is a Combi, so it is definitely a Night March deck. So we're going to Train this Mel. We're looking for an... Oh, this is not good. Okay, we'll grab an Ultra Ball. We will Ultra Ball, discard Lysander and the Garchomp. Now, the good thing about him starting these cards is he can't really attack us the following turn unless he gets a Floatstone. We're gonna be safe. Grab a Rim Raid, put the Rim Raid down, put a Focus Sash on the active, and we're gonna Birch. Gonna shuffle our hand at the deck, and hopefully we get heads and tails. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we get a strong energy on the active, we get a rare candy Octillery, and we'll end our turn. Alright, so into our opponent's turn, let's see what happens. Alright, so things are looking good for us for sure. Now, the thing about Night March is that they play Shaman, so they will have to put down Shaman to help us out. But oh, he discards Best Queen, Shaman, Lampent, Pumpkaboo. Okay. Okay, there's a Combi coming down. Now, we are weak to Grass, which is scary. We see a Jolted coming down as well. We see a Puzzle Time. Probably playing another Puzzle Time. Maybe grabbing a Shaman. Or he could be rearranged the top 3 cards of his deck. I really can't tell straight away. Oh, he was rearranged top 3. Okay. And on our turn, let's see what happens. We get an Octillery. We get a Rare Candy into the Garchomp. We get Karina grabbing a Gabite and another Love Ball. Grabbing a Love Ball. So yeah, let's get a Gibble and then a Love Ball to get another Gibble. Alright, so I have, yeah, we're pretty good to go. And let's see, Love Ball. There we go. Okay. So put down the Gibble. We'll play a Love Ball to get another Love Ball. To get a Gibble. Oh, we have no more Gibbles left in deck, so there's one prized. Alright, so put down the Gibble. Oh no, he said no DC in my top 3. Oh, because if you got the DC, I don't. Oh, maybe I don't know. We'll see what I don't know what he means about that. So we'll this hand drawn 2, 1, 2. Okay, and we will Turbo Assault, knock it at the Combi. Doing 80 damage. We don't have any fighting energies in the discard pile. We'll go down to 5 prize cards. And let's see, what do we get? A Gibble. There we go. So all Gibbles are ready to go next turn. And who will he send up? He could send up the Combi. And if he does that, we need a strong energy to actually knock out Vespiquen because that's 90 HP. Unless he pops the Focus Sash with the DCE. So we see Combi come down. The Unknown. We see a Sycamore going to discard that hand, draw 7 new cards. And let's see, does he get the... Oh, man, yeah, let's see, does he get that or not? This is going to be interesting for sure. This is going to be kind of a hard matchup because we can't really deal with Vespiquen. So we see Feral Letter, going to discard it, draw a card. He's looking for a Vespiquen and a DCE. He has discarded 1 Vespiquen so far, but there's probably 3 left in the deck. Another Unknown, another Combi coming down. How do we deal with this onslaught of Vespiquens? We see a Pokemon catcher. Heads, who will he bring up? Octillery. Now, I think Floatstone's in the deck. Hopefully it's in the deck. Hopefully it's in the deck. Fingers crossed. Oh, I'm not sure. A DC goes down to the bench Combi. And on to our turn. Let's see what happens. We get a Lysander. So we're going to VS Seeker. And with this, we're going to get a Karina. And I'm not 100% sure if the Floatstone's in the deck. It needs to be, though. So Karina... Come on down. Gabite for sure. And we need the Floatstone. Please be in the deck, Floatstone. No, the Floatstone is prized. Oh, no, that's not good. Alright, so grab a Love Ball. Okay. We'll put down Gabite. We will put down the Gibble. We will Love Ball. And we're actually going to get another Rim Raid. Now let's get a Gabite. So we have 2 Gabites ready to go. Now let's get a Rim Raid because we have the other Octillery in our hand, so that seems fine. So we'll grab those 2, put down the Rim Raid, and we will pass on to his turn. Now he still needs to get Vespiquens out for sure, but we're kind of in a weird situation. Yeah, we're in a weird situation for sure. Okay, so we see Floatstone. Oh, he gets the Floatstone, but we don't get the Floatstone. Come on, Pokemon. All right, we see Pokemon catcher. Double heads? Stop it. Garchomp comes up. Does he have a Xerosic Vespiquen? I will cry. A Megaphone? No. No. Okay. There's a VS Seeker. Alright. That's not good. Sycamore going to discard his hand. Draw 7 new cards. Okay. But luckily, if we get a Muscle Band and a Strong Energy, we can knock out this Vespiquen coming to our turn. We're going to see Sycamore discard his hand. Draw 7 new cards. Okay, does he get a Vespiquen or not? He's already played 1. There's a Compressor, go discard 3. He hasn't played a single Ultra Ball either, but he has played 2 catchers. So we'll see what happens. So Compressor, go discard 3 cards out of his deck, and this is a weird matchup for sure. Now if he does knock us out, we do have Super Rod, so that's good. Alright, we see Compressor. How many puzzle times has he played? The three, I can't see. 1, 2. So he has, he has discard 3 VS Seekers. Ooh, but here we see an Ultra Ball. Gonna get a Vespa Queen. Okay, that's good for him. Man, we need a top deck, a Sycamore. That would be fantastic. So let's see a Vespa Queen coming on down. And we'll see a Night March knocking us out. There's another, or not Night March, a Big Revenge knocking us out. We'll go put down to 5 prize cards. Big Revenge hitting us for 320 damage. That Megaphone messed us up. So let's go goodbye. Let's see what happens. Alright. So on our turn, come on. Okay. What trainers mode? We're looking for a Sycamore. That's not a Sycamore, but we get a Focus Sash, so that's good. We can put a Focus Sash on the active. We can play down Fighting Stadium. We can play Octillery. And we're going to use Super Rod because I'm going to Abyssal Hand, drawing 3 cards. So Super Rod, shuffle in these 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's Abyssal Hand number 1. Come on, Sycamore. Come on, Sycamore. Alright. We have a Sycamore in the discard power. He said, stupid red ribbon. No, you can't say that because that's part of Goku. We discard Halucha. And do you have a Lights in the discard pile? We do. Alright, so I'm going to discard a Birch because I want to at least keep 1 out. So we'll discard those 2. Grab a Garchomp. We'll put the Garchomp down. And we will Abyssal Hand, draw in 3 cards. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we get a Fighting Energy. And what I'm going to do, oh man. Let's put down another Gibble. Let's Muscle Band one of these guys. And let's be a Seeker for a Birch. That might seem kind of weird. But I have a plan. I don't know if it's going to be great, but we'll see what happens. Birch, gonna shuffle in her hand, draw 70 cards. Tails, only getting 4, okay? But what we can do next turn is we could knock out this Vespa Queen on the bench, and that way he has a Hurt Vespa Queen and the one on the bench as well. So we will a Turbo Assault. Not taking a knockout, only doing 60 damage. Put a Strong Energy, put it on the Muscle Band one. We only played 2 Focus Sash. And on his turn, now he has played 3 VS Seekers already, but he also has 2 Time Puzzles still in his deck somewhere. Either in his deck or in his prize cards. We're not sure where they are. So we'll see. It's a weird matchup for sure. But luckily, we can knock out Vespa Queens with Garchomps. We can 6, 8, 10. 6, 8, yeah, that would be a knockout. So we see an Ultra Ball. I wonder if, hopefully he doesn't go for a Shaman. Shaman definitely seems like a misplay because we can Lysander take 2 prize cards off that. So we'll see what he decides to do. Either way, I think I'm going to Ultra Ball, getting a Bite Out, and we're going to evolve this guy, catch a Strong Energy, and then we're going to Abyssal Hand, draw some more cards. There's an Unknown, so he can Pharaoh Letter. Alright. We just got to hope he doesn't have 2 Time Puzzles. So he discards Unknown, drawn a card. What will he do? That's the question. But at least Focus Sash is going to save us. And he has discarded 3 VS Seekers, like I said. There's a Puzzle Time. Does he have 2 Puzzle Times? I'm going to freak out if he does. Alright. Okay, so he only played 1. That's good. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so he's going to hit us, not knock us out, onto our turn. What do we top deck? A VS Seeker. Okay. So we're going to Strong Energy this guy. We will Abyssal Hand, draw on 1. We need something to discard. I really don't want to yeah, that's good. So I'll Ultra Ball, discard these 2. We'll grab a Gabite. Phone down Gabite. Alright. Put the Gabite down. We will Abyssal Hand, draw on 3. And I'm saving the VS Seeker because we can manually evolve into the Garchomps. So we have a Garchomp next turn. And we'll Karina. And with the Karina, we'll grab another Garchomp and a Rare Candy. So now we have 2 Garchomps ready to go. Do we have another Rare Candy in the deck? We do. Okay, that's good. So we'll grab a Rare Candy. Press done. We will Rare Candy into Garchomp. Okay. And we will Turbo Assault for the knockout, and we should have another Strong Energy in the discard pile if I remember correctly. There we go. And this means each one of our Pokemon have a Strong Energy. And I'm going to hold on to his Muscle Band just in case he plays another Megaphone. He could play 2. We get a Sycamore, and now we have a Muscle Band on this guy. And we'll see what happens. We have 4 prize cards left. He has 5 left. And he's down 2 DCEs. I think we're in the favor. Well, he's down 1 DCs right now. Just 1? Yeah, just one DCE. We see a VS Seeker, so that's his last VS Seeker, no more. Going to play a Sycamore, going to discard their hand, draw 7 new cards, and we're going to see what happens. It's going to be weird. Maybe we'll be able to win, maybe not. I don't know. He needs a DCE this turn for sure. He has 1 played, 3 left in the deck, and let's see what happens. No matter what, we have a Garchomp next turn, and then we could power up another Garchomp. We need to draw into our Floatstone out of the prize cards as well, so that way he can't Lysander stall. Now, once again, he has discarded 4 VS Seeker, so yeah, but he hasn't played a Lysander yet, so that's still possible as well. We see a DC going into the active, and we'll see a knockout, but we can retaliate with another knockout, which is good. So Be Revenge, 380 damage. That's a lot, okay. Going down to 4. We'll then sit up Go Garchomp, and let's see what happens. On to our turn. We get a Fighting Stadium, so put down Garchomp. We will VS Seeker. Do we play VS Seeker, or do we hold on to it? Is my question. How many VS Seekers have we played? There's 1 in our hand, 2, 3. Let's hold on to it. I think that's the best play. And we're going to Turbo Assault, knock it out the Vespiquen. Doing 100 damage, and we'll put a Fighting Energy onto this bench Gibble. Then we're gonna we have Muscle Man, we can attach this guy for the following turn. We'll go down to 3. There's a letter, okay. And the question is, can he constantly keep streaming these Vespiquens or not? He is down 2 DCEs. He's gonna knock us out, then go down to 1, then we take a knockout. I think we run him out of energies before he runs us out. There's a Vespiquen coming on down. He has 5 turns to take prize cards as well. Alright, so it's going to be interesting for sure. If we had another Super Rod, it would be good as well. But I think we'll be okay. We see a Joltik coming down. There's a DC to the active. And we'll see a knockout, do a Be Revenge. So that's his 3rd DCE. Okay, so let's go Garchomp. Going down to 3. Unless he plays a Bunnelby, the things might get interesting. So on to our turn. Get an Ultra Ball. So we're going to VS Seeker. Grabbing a Karina. I hope Garchomp's in the deck. I don't even know if Garchomp's in the deck or not. Karina, we will grab a Garchomp. Okay, good. So we're grabbing Garchomp. And we'll grab a Rare Candy. So everything is playing out perfectly. Like, we've had the perfect prize cards. So a Rare Candy into the Garchomp. We'll put down the Muscle Man on the active. And yeah, we'll Turbo Assault for the... Let's Ultra Ball, discard these 2, and get a Hawlucha. I think that might be the best play. So let's grab a Hawlucha, put down the Hawlucha, and we will Turbo Assault. And that way we could attack a Shaman if we need to with Hawlucha. So there's 100 damage. He said RIP, Strong Energy onto the Hawlucha, and let's see what happens. Alright, so go down to 2 prize cards. There's a Fighting Energy. Okay, so Seal, no Floatstone. We have 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we should have another Fighting Energy somewhere, maybe. Unless Fighting and Floatstone are both prized. There's a teammate's going to get 2 energies out of the... good 2 things out of the deck. Well, let's see. There's 1, 2, 3. So he only has 1 DC left. So we should be okay to win the game. DC onto the active. We'll see a Night March knocking us out. Doing 160 damage. We're going to set up Garchomp, and does he have some way to get another DCE? He has played 3 puzzle times already, and let's see what happens onto our turn. We get a Strong Energy. We'll put a Fighting Energy onto one of the Octilleries. Oh, we probably should have just held onto it. That was probably silly of me. And let's Turbo Assault. Knocking out the Joltik. Putting an energy onto this guy, and that means if you Lysanders or Catchers, we could retreat it manually if need be. So got out of 1 prize card. There's the Floatstone. Yay, Floatstone. Alright, now the only thing that might concern me if somehow he knocks out our Garchomp. I don't know how this is possible, but this is a very, very close game. There's a Sycamore. He's going to draw his 1 card in his deck. We got to hope that it's something good. Let's see what it is. There's another Joltik, and we'll say good game, bud. Alright, so it's funny that we got paired up against Heretic, but this is a good game to watch. We'll put a Strong Energy in the active, and we'll bite off, doing 8, 10, 12, 240 damage. So you can see how good of a deck Garchomp is. We can beat EX decks, we can beat the Night March decks. Heretic did get a little unlucky playing those time pulses at the wrong time, but sometimes it does happen with that. But we had the perfect setup for sure. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hit that subscribe button. Hopefully this video wasn't too long. I mean, we had some great games in it. We had a great Evital game. We saw a Manectric player kind of just concede really quick, and we played against Night March deck. So we showed up that you could beat Evital with Hawluchas. We showed that you could beat Manectric because of pure damage, and you could beat the one prize attackers decks because of your focus ashes. Now, it would have been different if Heretic did get a megaphone out to discard the focus ashes and everything like that. Also, Heretic got really lucky discarding those or playing those catchers. He got really lucky on those cards for sure. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hit that subscribe button. Hope you have a great day. Alrighty, bye.